Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this June 4th, 2024 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our Communications Manager, Tiffany Oliphant, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Tiffany.
There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you are joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you are joining us virtually and are experiencing technical difficulties with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and I'll help you troubleshoot. If you would like closed captioning during this meeting, you will have to manually change your settings. Click on the closed captioning button and select show captions. The audio video of this meeting is being recorded and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door. It is also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it over to you, Chair Fuller.
Thank you, Tiffany. I now call this June 4th, 2024 regular meeting to order and ask Tiffany to call the roll.
Chair Fuller,
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green,
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCullough,
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs is absent. The following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt McDonough, Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brent Slack, Director of Operations Adam Lape, Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
Thank you. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? So move.
Four.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of May 21st, 2024, appearing on pages 3 through 23 of the packet?
So moved.
Support. Any discussion, additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The board meeting minutes of May 21st are accepted as presented. Next, may I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of May 21st, 2024, appearing on pages 24 through 26 of the packet?
So moved.
Support. Any discussions, additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session minutes have been accepted as presented. Next, we have time set aside for the reports of our county commission liaisons. County Commissioner Caroline Sanders is with us today from District 4. Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon. Only thing I guess I want to invite people to, we've got our only June Board of Commissioners meeting this Wednesday. We are now going in the summer session, so we will only be meeting on the first Wednesday of every month through August, I believe. We do have discussion on our agenda related to the public safety and mental health millage renewal and ordinance, as well as some discussion regarding the possibility of a senior millage. So if you are interested in either or anything else that may be on our agenda, I would invite you to join us this Wednesday. It's always good to see everybody at 5:30 and also at 7, but pick your poison. Good to see you and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Tiffany, it's kind of difficult to hear the overhead back here. I don't know whether that was on the commissioner's end or our end.
Okay,
But
I have it okay, I changed it.
thank
We'll
you.
see if you can hear that. Let me know now.
All right. I don't believe Commissioner Light is with us, correct?
No, she is not.
Okay. We will move on to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. It's not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Tiffany will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make public comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. I will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments. For in-person attendees, we will start with those who have signed up on the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you didn't sign in, you are still welcome to make comment. I will notify you when it is your turn. At this time, we do have in-person participants who wish to make public comment. I will begin with the names, and as I call your name, please come to the podium and state your name and your address and a phone number, please. Thank you. 1 second. First, on my in-person list, I have Bernice. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bernice Linke. I live at 3396 Allen Mark Drive in Superior Township, and I'm also a trustee for Superior Township. I want to begin by thanking you very much for working with us to get speed humps on Stevens Drive. I'm not sure, Jerry Clifton's in the audience. I'm not sure he's going to speak tonight, and I don't want to steal his thunder or today. But it's been a long time, and it's just such with such fantastic news that we were finally going to move forward to that, to do the speed bumps on Stevens Drive. And then we're also working for speed humps on Overbrook. We're excited about you guys helping with that as well. I want to appreciate some of your staff. One is Mike Burbank, who kindly called me a few weeks ago to tell me that he was the Washtenaw County Road Commission was pulverizing Dixboro Road. And I thought I heard him say they were going to use a roller tiller. So I posted it on Nextdoor, and I'm looking at the word and I'm thinking, God, I really think he said rototiller. But it was pretty funny because he told me that pulverizing was like a rototiller on steroids. So I understood what that was, and I really appreciated his candidness with it. The last thing I want to talk about, and we have this on your list to fix, is a drain hole that people keep telling me about on the corner of MacArthur Boulevard and Harris Road. And I know it's on your fix-it list. I'm just sort of bringing it to your attention. Brent Schlack is another person who's been very helpful for us at the township. So you guys do good work. We appreciate it. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for your comments.
Next, I have Robert Penny.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Robert Penny. I live at 8623 Pine Court in Superior Township. And my phone number is, you want the last 4 or the whole number?
You can say the last 4, that's fine.
Okay, it's 6316. Well, I was here last year and I wanted to find out about a sinkhole on Pine Court. And the city came out and took some pictures of the sinkhole, and I was wondering when they were going to get started on filling it. since the weather's is broke. And I was wondering how soon they're gonna start on it.
We received comments. We'll respond at a next point on the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you for being
Thank
here, Mr. Penny.
Thank you. I have a Yvonne Penny. Did you want to make public comment? I have a yes in the column. Wasn't sure. No, okay, thank
Did
you.
okay, did he?
Yes, okay. And I'm not sure, I have a Zora Clifton. Did you want to make public comment? Okay, that's fine. If you want to, Mr. Clifton, I know that is you, Jerry Clifton. Go ahead. Can you go ahead? Thank you.
My name is Jerry Clifton. I live at 8692 Pine Court at Ypsilanti here in Superior Township. My phone number is 734-218-2693. And I'm here, I just want to thank the Road Commission with the work that they got with Superior Township to bring into fruition the speed bumps on Stevenson Drive. It's something, it's been a while, but we got it done. You guys got it done. So I just want to give you the praise and thank you, and hopefully that we can get it done before. And I want to thank the Washtenaw County Sheriff for kind of controlling the area to slow it down, because 2 kids have got hit right there in that corner on where I live at Stevenson and Pine Court. And the whole thing frightens me. We don't have to wait till one get killed or something before we do anything, but I want to thank you guys for getting it done for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clifton.
Okay, I do have a Andrew Holcomb wants to make a public comment online. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Awesome, thank you, and good afternoon. Andrew Shepherds again from Wholesome at 6700 M52 in Manchester. Just real quick, I want to say thank you so much for the items that you have today on your closed session agenda. And, again, willing and ready to continue to work and partner with all of you as we continue to move forward. So thank you so much again. And please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherds.
Chair Fuller, that is the last public comment.
All right. We will move on to written communications appearing on pages 27 through 33 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to? Commissioner McCollum? Or you were just talking to yourself?
Because I have the wrong page number, I think. Page 29, was that the letter from Diane? As you said.
Yes.
Okay, that's under written communications. correct? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yes, I would like to comment on that letter, that thank you letter I appreciate it, and I appreciate how Diane described how well the work was done and how better the road was made. So Jennings Road north of North Territorial. So
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Commissioner Yamas, did you have a comment?
Well, I wanted to comment on the same letter, giving praise to whoever graded the road, and hopefully we will pass that on down to the yard.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else on written communications? No. Seeing none, we will move on to road commissioner comment and staff follow-up to the public comment that we received today. Commissioners, anything you want to say? Commissioner Green?
Yes, I would like to thank all those who made a comment today, but in particular, Mr. Jerry Clifton. I'd like to thank him for his tenacity and his faith in the democratic process. That things can get done if you keep working at it. So thank you, Mr. Clifton.
Commissioner McCollum.
I also want to thank the parties that were here for the speed bumps on Pine Court and Mr. Clifton for bringing this to our attention and being concerned about his community and safety. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Yamas.
To all the citizens who've showed up to give appreciation for the work that we've done, that's greatly appreciated because we usually hear the opposite. And the work goes out to the crews. Thanks to them. Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners?
I'll just note that certainly we'll follow up with Mr. Penny on Pine Court and the road defect there. We'll have our Director of Operations reach out to you. So thank you for bringing that back to our attention.
Mr. Penny, do you know who our Director of Operations is?
Adam Lake right there.
Gentleman right here. Okay. Anything else, Matt?
Did not
No.
have anything. So
Okay.
thank you. Thank you for being here.
We'll move on to new business. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 10? The motions appear on pages 35 through 38, the background on pages 39 through 77. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion on any of those? Any questions, commissioners, that you might have? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, those 10 items are approved as presented. We have no action items today under new business, but we do now move into closed session as a new business item. May I have a motion to enter into closed session under Section 8D of the Open Meetings Act to discuss the easement request for the Washtenaw County Road Commission owned parcels 0-15-11-400-005 and 0-15-11-400-002.
So moved.
Support.
Aaron, Tiffany, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are in closed session. Are we going upstairs?
Yes, we'll go up to room 200. So we'll take a break here and we'll be back after the closed session item. So
I will go over a few housekeeping
Please.
for that.
thank you.
1 second. For our virtual participants, if you are not a road commissioner or a designated staff member, I will move you to the virtual waiting room. If you would like to be returned to the open session of the meeting, once we have completed the closed session, please remain in the waiting room. I will readmit you once the closed session has been completed. For in-person attendees, you are welcome to wait in the boardroom or lobby until the closed session has been completed. I will now pause the recording.
Oh, sorry, there she is. Okay, welcome back. At this time, I would entertain a motion to return to open session.
So moved.
Oh, okay, wait, okay.
If you would call the roll, please, Tiffany.
Okay, 1 second, moved in support. Okay. Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we have now returned to open session. The next item on our agenda are the reports of the commissioners, starting with Commissioner Green.
I have no report. Thank you.
Commissioner Smers is absent today. Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Madam Chair. I read a couple of articles from the County Road Association of Michigan periodical. The first article was, "What's ahead for Michigan's scrap tire program?" The Michigan Department of Environment Great Lakes Commission received $2 million in a grant to develop a new market for used vehicle tires. Michigan is among the top 5 states for handling and recycling tires. Uses for scrap tires are modified chip seal and asphalt products. The second article I read, and I really enjoyed, was "Putting a Face Behind the Name" by Tiffany Oliphant, the Washtenaw County Road Commission Communications Manager. The article was about bringing our constituents into our environment and how it helps to restore the human element. This is accomplished by using routine operations, media, and events. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Yamas?
No report.
I will report that on May 22nd, I served as the road commissioner at the weekly chat. There were no visitors. May 23rd, I attended the roads and non-motorized millage education meeting. On May 30th, I was a participant at the visitation of the Michigan Department of Corrections Vocational Village in Jackson County. On June 3rd, I attended the required digital signature training. And on June 3rd, I also attended the Watts 2050 Long Range Planning Public Participation Meeting convened at the Manchester District Library. And I will note that all 4 staff members from Watts were present, being Ryan Buck, Nick Sapowicz, Anton Shirt, and Maggie Huntley. It was a really nice demonstration of their interest in the rural area of the county. Later that evening, I also attended the Mental Health and Public Safety Public Information Session held in the City Council Chamber, where Washtenaw County Police Officer Derek Jackson gave an overview of what the existing Washtenaw County Community Mental Health and Public Safety Preservation Millage covers. It was an impressive and informative presentation. Information about that can be found on the county's website, washtenaw.org. Go to the Sheriff's Department page, and there's a section you can click on to learn more about that. All right. We will move on to staff reports and updates. The staff report begins on page 78, concludes on page 91. Matt, what do you have for us?
I'll first start by asking if anyone had any questions regarding the material presented in the board packet.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I just want to congratulate 2 heavy truck drivers on page 82. After completing the 3-week CDL manual program and state CDL exam, Eric and Joshua are both now heavy truck drivers. I want to congratulate them, and I'm just wondering, do you have a place for them? A particular yard they're going to be at?
Yes, so they are going to stay on their current crew, and they were upgraded to heavy truck driver, which was a good bump. So we're very excited to have graduates that had gone through the policy that was adopted by the board earlier this year. And my understanding is we have 2 other employees that are going to go through a similar program here in July. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Leif, in your report. Okay.
So does that mean that what their positions that where they were at are open now? Would that show up?
So what happened was, in one instance, the person was hired as a laborer and contingent upon them successfully completing this training for a year. So they were assigned to the crew. They began as a laborer, then went through the training, and now are promoted to heavy truck driver on the same crew. The other instance was the person was a light truck driver, meaning they had a CDL B license, and now they went through the training and now they're a heavy truck. So there's no openings per se that got created by them getting bumped to the heavy truck driver. They were on a crew already, just at a lower classification.
I see.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And it's, again, a great recruiting tool. We're able to bring folks in as a laborer and earn as you learn and go
Right.
through the CDL training program. So we're very excited about it. And we've got 2 more folks lined up for classes.
Are those 2 current employees? Or
Current employees.
Okay.
Correct. And we do have postings on our website for heavy truck driver and a laborer position because we have vacancies still. So.
Great.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Yamas.
So I wanted to congratulate Darren and Steve. Also, however, I also wanted to know, the laborers, how many laborer positions are there? And I know we only need one filled, but how many laborer positions are there?
So
At the road
the way we've done that is they're ultimately heavy truck driver positions.
Okay,
We hire them as a laborer and then train them. So
Okay.
we have how many vacancies? 5 vacancies of heavy truck driver.
okay,
So we have it posted on our website as heavy truck driver, someone that has a full CDL-A classification. Or is there someone that's interested in coming to our organization as a laborer, taking one of the vacancies with the acknowledgement they would go through the classes within a year and become a heavy truck driver.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yes,
Is that the
Okay.
question you asked?
Yeah,
Or did
well,
you
the-
want to know how many existing laborer positions?
yes.
5 vacancies, and we don't have them defined. Ultimately, we want them to be heavy truck drivers, 5 vacancies.
But do
But
we
we
have
will-
anybody right now who is a laborer and that's their? When we look at the boxes on the org chart,
The full-time employee is a laborer. The one that I was aware of, we have just got
Yes.
upgraded to heavy
Okay.
truck.
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering. I tried to look at the applications and how many positions there were, and it looks like there's only one. And I thought, okay, we only have one laborer to do. So if 5 people applied or 4 people applied
Mhm.
to become laborers, that's what I was looking at. It seemed confusing to me that there was only one opening when there's actually
So
the
there's
possibility of 5.
5 vacancies.
Okay,
And we're willing to fill if the right applicant comes along.
Yeah.
If they meet the labor criteria or the heavy truck criteria.
okay,
As long as they meet one of those criteria, we can bring them on board. That's the strategy behind the policy, the CDL training policy.
go ahead, Ron.
So, there's only one vacancy for laborer, but there's 5 vacancies for heavy truck
No.
driver.
There are 5 vacancies. We can fill those vacancies in any combination that comes to the door that are applicants that we want to hire into the organization.
No,
Okay.
no, that's not clear.
What,
we have the
So,
same confusion.
we need 5 people. Ultimately, we want them to be heavy truck drivers.
Right.
If people apply, they can either apply as a laborer and get paid to go through the program, or you already meet the qualifications of a heavy truck driver.
So if you already have a CDLA.
You
Right.
become a heavy
you
truck
can
driver.
become a heavy
Yes.
truck immediately.
Both of those positions are open applications currently on the website.
But if you don't meet that qualification, there's only one slot for you.
We have
5.
5 slots, and if we find the right person, and we could potentially have 2 laborers, if that makes the most sense. Again, Adam, Director of Operations, come on up.
Hi, so,
Plain,
yeah,
because clearly my explanation is.
no, you're good. So,
Been trying to explain
Yeah.
something to me. It's like.
so
"Ah,
Adam Lake,
get it."
Director of Operations, to help Roger, how kind of that work in there. So the 5 vacancies are just vacancies we have in the department. If we do find ample labor candidates, we can bring them on. If,
5 of them.
well, yes, in theory, 5 of them if need be. The reason why we advertise for 1 is because we've only been finding 1 at a time. So we've had our advertisement for 1, and also you have to keep a little bit in consideration. If there were, let's say there were 3 vacancies in 1 yard, a crew of only 3 people, we couldn't have all 3 laborers in 1 spot because we wouldn't have anybody to drive the trucks when it came to winter time if they hadn't got their CDL yet. So that's why we've advertised 1 at a time. We fill that one, we send them to training because we only get about
Okay.
2 slots or so is what we're averaging right now. We got 2 slots in the training class for the first session we had through this project or this part of the program. And then we only have 2 slots.
In
so
July.
2 positions in July. So we're limited on how many people we can send at once to class as well. But quite frankly, we're only coming across 1 candidate at a time, which is fine to be at that speed because we're able to vet them, find the right fit, and then kind of move on, which really brings us back to tying in, find the person first, and then build them to suit, our needs, which is kind of what we talked about back at the beginning as we started discussing the.
And it's
program.
dynamic because you see in the report, you have retirees, you have a
Mhm.
bidding process for existing employees. So the vacancies move around. They could, if they all end up on state trunk line, we couldn't hire 5 laborers. Because state trunk line, you need to drive the big orange truck to plow the snow on the state trunk line.
Yeah.
we can't use that many laborers on the
That's
state
correct.
trunk line.
And especially seasonal, we couldn't do that in January because we know we still have to plow, so we couldn't take half the staff and just have a laborer because they wouldn't be able to physically go out and perform the snow and ice yet. So we just would have to balance that, but we haven't experienced that yet because we found one and they've been able to train up. Then we hire another, and so that's kind of our process at this point, but it's so new, it's very, very young.
And Adam, where are the current vacancies? I believe
Currently, we have District 2, State Trunk Line, and District 5.
so District
Yeah.
2 services.
Correct. The southeast, out of the Southeast Service Center, so that's Ypsilanti Township and Pittsfield Township.
And then District 5 at
District
services.
5 is south below that, so that's York, Saline, and Augusta. And then our State Trunk Line crew, obviously, is crew of 11 kind of throughout the county. That comes out of this facility.
Sorry, you said the state trunk line crew?
Crew, correct, yeah, so that's our contracted crew that performs the MDOT maintenance
Okay,
for that group.
23, 14, 94.
Yeah, just maintenance throughout the county. We're contracted by MDOT. That's the portion you see the budget.
Right.
That $3.2 million contract we have each year.
So they plow snow, they replace guardrails, they
Yeah.
patch
Respond to crashes, patch potholes, litter pickup, things like
on
that.
the M roads.
Yeah.
And
So the good news
Yeah.
is we have 3 different crews that a laborer could potentially go to.
Yeah, and so it gives us that freedom. We have options to move people, find people for the right fit. I mean, really coming back to, we find the person first that's gonna be successful, and then we start building them, where they fit, or whether it be location wise, are they logistically closer to one of the openings? Then we usually assign them to that area.
okay.
So, and that's how we develop, just to go a little further in, just so you guys have some other understanding, kind of how it's been operated actually out in the field now. So for example, the state trunk line labor that now just got moved up to a truck driver had some experience with our crew, with the heavy equipment and state trunk line crew as a summer helper, actually at one point as a summer intern. And so one of the openings was on that crew. So that's why the initial labor position was hired to state trunk line, because we knew there was experience there. We knew the timing would fit, that he would be able to class up, so to speak, reach his achievement of the CDLA unrestricted before we get back to winter. So then he could continue on with the crew. And for example, today he's out with the chip seal crew. Both of which something he'd already experienced as a summer intern as well. Now he's just driving the trucks and a little more involved in the crew now.
So I guess that's the confusion, because I see just the one labor, on the applications, only one, and that clears
On
it
the
up for me.
posting,
On the posting, yes.
Yeah, because our advertisements are, truck driver, labor,
Right,
that's just
right.
it's kind of the posting language and verbiage, I guess, maybe the best way to say that.
So the other question I have is about summer interns for outside laborers. You post also, or how do you get your summer interns?
Yes, and yes. So yes is word of mouth, yes is posted. Usually Nicole and Alicia will start that process midwinter usually.
Mhm.
We're beneficial by word of mouth quite frequently, and we also have a lot of returning, summer interns. So that kind of helps. That Aaron Burkholz helps with the engineering side of things, with feelers out to some of the schools, whether it be a trade school, engineers in training, taking construction management classes and at the university level. That's really how that's generated the summer interns for the time I've been here.
But it's posted on our website
Yeah.
publicly. That's the first step, and then we go through all those other recruiting efforts.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of balance, school season, semesters, trimesters, really depends on what their status is as a student. That it kind of helps with us, so, or helps set that for us.
Thank you.
Mhm.
you're good.
Okay, sorry, I apologize. I wasn't speaking clearly. Thank you, Mr. Lake.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, very well. Good job. All right. Very good.
Any other questions for
On the
Matt?
packet,
any other
yes.
Reports.
I also would like to report, I did attend the Dexter Forum on Saturday, June 1st. It was a great community interaction, was a good opportunity to connect, and I'll look forward to any of those others. If those come to mind, community events, feel free to pass them along to me. Commissioner Fuller, thank you for passing that along.
Sure.
All right. With that, I will bring back up Mr. Leip. You're the Director of Operations report. Sorry, should have saw that on the agenda and asked you to stay.
Yeah, Adam Lake, Director of Operations again. Actually have a nice short update today, so I kind of helped. I got more time to talk to everybody, but I am gonna plug in. Tiffany's got us set up here. We wanted to show you just three quick pictures here. Once we
Ready?
load up, yeah, I am ready, thank you.
Okay, one second.
Okay, so on the picture here and the screens in front of you, this is just kind of a look from today. We do have videos, but the feedback you get from the machines and the belts running are really, really loud on the video. So if you'd like to see them, I can show you afterwards, but the audio in the room would amplify it a little too much and it'd probably hurt. So what I did is do a couple screenshots here. So where you're at with us right now, you're essentially riding on what we refer to as a chip spreader. So you see those two belts, that's the aggregate being conveyed up and then put in the spreading piece of the machinery as we're going across the tar on our seal coat project. So this is chip sealing. So this is kind of the forward look as they go down the road here. You're essentially looking, I believe, eastbound, just from this afternoon on Pleasant Lake Road back towards M52. And then from the exact same spot in the video, same location where Ryan Lewis, the group leader, and Jason Klaus, the foreman, are kind of videoing these for us. But Ryan turned the camera then and showed how the truck backs up to us. And that truck is backing down the road backwards and just raises the body of the truck, the dump body, and lets that stone fall into, in theory, basically it's a hopper, and then it's trucked or conveyed underneath the operator, which is kind of to the, I guess on the right side of the screen is where the operator is sitting, Steve Leahy. And then it runs underneath Tyler Summers' feet, who's the gentleman you just saw in the last photo, and then gets spread out on the road. So that's the process. A little bit more to it, a couple more equipment and specific operators for that, but just kind of some cool looks we thought we would get today when I was out visiting this morning. I asked them to shoot us a video. I believe Ben Betts from the state trunk line crew is operating truck 311 here that's dumping. I believe that was him in the truck. I didn't pay close attention, but I think he usually operates 311. So kind of that team that we've talked about there, there's close to 30 people out there all the way down to, traffic control. So kind of an interesting thing we wanted to.
Go back to the other picture, Anna.
Certainly.
Yeah, so up ahead, off in the distance beyond
Yeah.
the dump truck, isn't that the distributor truck?
It is. So
Well,
I'll do my
that's-
best.
Yep.
I think you can follow my mouse on the screen there. That's our distributor truck. We have two of those. And our new trucks, the two that we have are actually designed, we could spray the full width of the road at once if we wanted. We don't close more rural roads like this because they're straight line routes and there's not really that much traffic impact, so we can do it one side at a time. For example, when we do sections sometimes on North Territorial Road where it's very busy, we'll actually close the segment, for 10, 20 minutes, shoot the whole road at once, roll it all back in, and then we can open it back up, go another mile down the road, so to speak, and kind of piggyback our way down through the county that way. So those are really nice units that the board approved us here just over the last couple of years to purchase. Having two of those, we're very lucky. Most counties have one, and I say one and a half. They have like a new one and,
Limping one?
one making it. So we're real great to have that. I mean, we have a great new piece of equipment in the chip spreader here. You can't see behind us, but there are two brand new rollers as well, rubber tire rollers that really need the stone in. But the most important part is back to the, actually, I don't know if I'll be able to, there we go. So there's a line, in theory, if you look through this truck, there's anywhere between 6, 8, 10 more trucks rolling that material in as well, backing down the road. So it's a really cool little chain as we go. I left a message with Alan Squire, who's our drone pilot, one of our drone pilots. We're gonna hope to try to fly this year with all our new equipment, try to fly alongside like aerial, so you guys can see the whole like actual operation, the train going down the road. So hopefully we can do that. We have to kind of pick the right area because you have aerial over lines. There's some restriction to where we can fly and can't fly, but we're going to try to get some of that type of photography this year as well. But yeah, so it's a pretty cool little process. We are very lucky to have some of that equipment. Really makes it a lot easier than what it has been for us in the past.
And you can see the corn's already up on the right hand.
Yes, yeah. So the rain is helping us these days. We are growing like crazy. And as you can see, the grass is doing the same thing on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So my other little piece of the update there, whoops, might take a moment here, sorry.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So that, I believe, is the group leader from the heavy equipment crew, Ryan Lewis, sometime last week. I forget which the actual day was. That's the first load of, now it's transferred salt, but the first load of salt out of the old salt dome into our new material storage building. So kind of a cool, exciting moment. I think Jeff Young actually took the picture from the signals department, our signals crew. So we're there. We have about 3,000 or so, maybe 4,000 tons in the building now. So we've moved and transferred all the material that was in the old dome has now been transferred over. So I didn't have time to go out and get another picture, but maybe in the upcoming weeks, I'll get you a picture of, or even take you out there. If you want to ride out there, I can drive out there and show you guys. Now the salt is all the way up to basically where the photo is taken.
Oh,
And we'll await our seasonal backfill that we satisfy with our contract throughout the state or through the state. And we're ready to go in that aspect of things. Still kind of just tighten up loose ends, and we're going to do some hydro seeding like we've kind of talked before around the outside of the building. But we're getting to the point where we're reaching some completion here. So it's kind of an exciting moment.
Go ahead, Joanne.
I just want to say, it looks so small. This truck looks so small in that building.
Right, and so you've all probably seen that's a tandem. It's so 2 rear axles and the front axle. So, you know, there's quite a few tires there. You know, you have 10 tires staring you in the face there, and it's a tandem axle dump truck that hauls about 12 tons, which is anywhere 24,000 to 28,000 pounds of material just in the back of it. And yeah, this building dwarfs it. So we have plenty of space. You can see some of those lines kind of run across the top of the photo there. My mouse might not show it the best for you, but these are kind of fill lines, what we refer to.
Oh,
And over here, we do the simple math to make things easier, because all our older buildings, we would count rafters and have like a general estimate. So the last few buildings that we built here, we've just put some numerical marks there so we can it's actually engineered and measured. So the volume, we know it's a good idea for quantity, how many tons we have in the building. It's easier when it comes time to inventory time, so we have a general idea where we're at. That line is where we kind of set our load height. We certainly could go much higher if need be, up to the light bulbs with ramps. In our operator skills that we have, we could stack this stuff, you know, all the way to the ceiling, but not worth it, not worth the risk. And also you don't want to compact the salt. So that's why these buildings are so big and so elongated, because if you have the space, which we had, thankfully we had the funding, you can stretch the building out to where all your material is the salt that came right out of the earth, is refined down, and it's the same rock size that it was when you got it. As you stack salt, move it around and process it, you just break it down and basically start turning it into table salt. Jams up in the trucks, it'll freeze because it's hydroscopic, it grabs all that moisture. So, you know, a building like this is great for us because our rock salt will be rock salt. So we'll be a little more efficient out of this, and something you don't really realize, and wasn't exactly free to get that efficiency, but I promise you in time, it'll benefit us. So kind of excited for that, but with that, that's my update, unless there are any questions for the day.
Mr. Green.
Oops. And so is the plan to tear down the old dome, or what is that?
That's correct. Yep. So part of the project, which Dennis and I were even talking about that coming downstairs a few minutes ago. Most projects, they do the demolition first, but in our case, we needed to use the salt dome, and we knew that there inevitably would be delays, or, you know, the project would get lengthened. So we made sure we kept the existing salt dome prior to getting all this completed. So now it's completed. So the contractor will have a subcontractor that'll come in that'll do that demolition, and we'll essentially be left with an area where we could just store aggregate material, whatever we needed. It will have no roof or anything. It'll just be removed down kind of piece by piece, as we kind of laughed about a few meetings ago about the demolition process. It'd be nice if they could implode something like that, but in South Township, they don't let you do that. So we're going to remove it with a piece of equipment. So an excavator will kind of grab each piece and bring it down, not sectionally, but just good chunks at a time. That'll all be hauled off. And then we'll be left with just essentially the pavement that's on the ground right now.
What's the time frame for that?
That time frame should be within a few weeks. They should start that. Because now that we've emptied all the material out, we no longer have a need for the structure. So they can remove it, and it'll only take them, I think Oakland County, when they were doing some of theirs, very similar buildings, it was just a few weeks and they were down to the ground. Doesn't take as long as you would think. It's essentially just weakening it and letting it kind of collapse itself. And then the longest part is to haul the material away in the processing for that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Adam.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Our next up, Dan Ackerman, Finance Director.
Okay, top that, Dan.
He paid for it.
Yes.
I have no pictures, my apologies.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. I'd like to start by talking Michigan Transportation Funds, and that's on the last page of your packet. They were up about 5% in April of 2024 compared to 23. Year to date, up 3%. compared to last year, well within our budget. And along those lines, I think Commissioner McCollum, in that same publication from CRA, there was an article about, you know, our antiquated gas tax and looking at vehicle miles driven. And it seems like I've been hearing more and more about this, which I think is a good thing. I think, you know, we were kind of, I think Lansing knew they needed to do something, but we're kind of low, we'll kick the can down the road, but I don't think that that's possible anymore. So I'm really glad that I've been hearing some, you know, more discussion about this. And obviously it needs to be well thought out. You need to get buy-in from not only the folks in Lansing, but really all the citizens. And hopefully they can find something to replace, again, what I think is an antiquated taxing mechanism. So obviously there'll be lots more to come on that, but and it's good that there's other states that have already had pilot programs. I want to say they invited someone from another state as a speaker to share their experiences. So, you know, I don't think the state of Michigan needs to reinvent the wheel. But you know, stay tuned on that because again, it still continues to track pretty well, but I think at some point you might see it plateau. And, you know, that presents some other potential challenges. So certainly a lot more to come on that, hopefully. So my focus is on the second quarter budget. Within a week or so, the leadership team will be meeting to talk about not only second quarter 2024, but also budget estimates for 25 and 26. And I've also already set up the individual departmental meetings. I meet with each department and we talk about the budgets. And the plan is to present to the board at the July 16th working session, the second quarter budget for 2024, and then 2025 and 2026 estimates. So definitely looking forward to that conversation, but a lot of work needs to be done before we get to that point. So we want to make sure we get ahead of that as best we can. Also, I have until the end of this month to submit my information for Public Act 202, which, if you recall, is a requirement by the state of Michigan to report on the funding levels of both our pension and our OPEB. We have a bit of a dilemma because they still have not submitted the approval of the waiver for the previous year. So, and I already asked about that and they said we're overwhelmed and, you know, we should hopefully start having results of the waiver or hopefully approvals within 2 weeks. And it's been well over 2 weeks since that email. I certainly don't, I want to be respectful of them because magically maybe our waiver could be denied, but I want to be.
23,
Pardon?
2023 waiver request?
This was from 2022. So it's really as of the previous year end. So this will be as of December 31st, 2023, the one I'll be working on this month. I may ask, again, respectfully, you know, will they approve our waiver from the previous year and then we'll submit the information for this year? Or I guess it doesn't matter, but so more to come on that as well. But definitely something that's important that we submit timely and make sure we meet the requirements. And certainly we always try to meet any sort of requirements we have from the state of Michigan in particular. So we'll be working on that. And also construction season, lots of federal aid projects have been getting going. So just working on, I have to track everything as far as number wise, how much work is performed on it. If there's anything that's billable, sometimes we receive reimbursement from the state of Michigan for our construction engineering costs and so on. So we're just doing the best to stay on top of that. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
Questions for Dan?
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
And Brent Schlacker, Director of Engineering.
Hello, good afternoon. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. So I do have a few updates on active construction. North Territorial Dexter Town Hall, that project is progressing really well. There's a couple of punch list items that we're working through. We're hoping next couple weeks that road will be open. North Territorial, just down the road from there, Webster Church, they are paved on the south side of that road. Currently, that's one lane road, controlled by traffic signals. That should shift to the other side later this week. Miller and Zeeb, they're finalizing the pavement marking as we speak. And, we're hoping, or we're anticipating that that'll be open this week. So that's some great news. Our border to border trail, segment D3, that project actually has some good news. Tomorrow, they'll be setting the bridge. It's a 225-foot bridge that they'll be setting across the river. The abutments reach strength, and so they'll be setting that bridge tomorrow. That bridge actually was delivered in 4 pieces, and then they assembled that, and they'll be using 3 cranes to set that bridge tomorrow.
You're getting movies, right?
We will be, hopefully, I can top Adam next
Yeah.
week, or in a couple weeks. We are gonna have the drone out there.
Yeah.
And so we'll get Tiffany involved. And yeah, so we'll have some good show and tell next meeting. But yes, so that'll be set tomorrow, weather permitting. They're watching the weather. They don't want to have a few lightning rods up in the air if there's some bad weather. They are calling for some weather, but we did get notification that the trains will be stopped for a period of time. So the green light is on. Hopefully the weather cooperates.
And where is that exactly?
That's on our Sheer River Drive. Gosh, that would be what?
East of
East of
Zeeb,
Loch Alpine,
east of Zeeb, west of West Delhi.
West Delhi, right?
So our infamous historic bridge there, just west of there.
Just west, yes, thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay, that helps. Thanks.
Yep. Our HMA paving, we do have plans later this week. We'll be milling Huron River Drive. That's from the Huron Whitaker to Textile Road segment. And then paving will be scheduled next week. Our countywide pavement marking, we're about halfway done for our just our retrace type program. They put about 2.5 million feet of pavement marking down, and they'll be gearing up for our chip seal whenever that's ready. They're also gearing up for our special markings, which would be the stop bars, crosswalks. That'll begin here soon. Whitaker and Willis, that project, actually that road was shut down yesterday. That was for DTE. They have a couple weeks of work prior to our job starting. That was, again, we're sensitive to that closure happening while school is still in session. We had those discussions with Lincoln Schools, and we determined that the impacts at the end of school were less than what they would be at the beginning of school and be less disruptive. So that decision was made. Furthermore, the seniors are out of school, so it's a little bit less traffic in that area. We're anticipating that project will be completed mid-August. Aside from that, please, I'd encourage those to visit our website. All of our projects have, most of our projects have weekly updates, and so please visit that. Other than that, that concludes my report. Is there any questions?
I really appreciate the project updates and the closures that say heads up, this is happening next week or in 3 days, or by the way, right now we're chip sealing, so you might want to think about where you're driving. Been doing a great job on keeping up with all of that.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you to the engineering operations and communications team on those great communications and timely. They all work together to get those out. So, all right, that concludes reports.
Okay. Please note that we have a blood drive going on here on June 12th from 9 to 3 p.m. If you look at the managing director's weekly report of May 30th, there's a link for scheduling an appointment and a time to donate. Our next working session is June 18th at 9 a.m., followed at 1 o'clock by our regular board meeting. Virtual chat sessions coming up Tomorrow is Commissioner Yamas. June 12th is Commissioner McCollum. June 19th is Commissioner Smers. And June 26th is my date for chat session. During these summer times, please remember to arrange for a substitute if you're unavailable on your assigned chat date, and then let Tiffany know who your substitute's going to be and or Matt. There's no further business to come before the board. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support.
Tiffany, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Barbara Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.